That's going to prevent some damage, but in terms of a rotation, leaves a lot of questions in store here for where they will go. It's a nice crack bound to give even not quite the knockdown we needed. Ooh. A good slow there, but still not quite. It's just towards the body here for Hackulo. Still Avis, and then turns around. You know what? It's the perfect time to talk about it because we'll be taking a look at Intel a lot this game as they try to defend first. A lot of these squads haven't had the opportunity to scrim and compete on a competitive level since last chance qualifiers and prior to. And when I talked to James Fearless, literally in the middle of our games today, he told me a big reason why Intel has found a return is the fact that, hey, they've finally had the opportunity to get some practice in, right? And that goes for almost everybody here, hence why we might be seeing such a kind of balance between each of these teams having their star shining moment.
So as Intel battles it out here to start off the game, I will give you my take on the level of the Series E squads this season. I think that the talent level of the 6 teams that we have this season is a little bit lower than the past 2 seasons, which is important to recognize when you consider that Season 14, Vizio, now Team Esports Arena, not a part of those 6 teams any longer. Season 3, Intel, the first Team Esports Arena, not in the crop any longer. So you're going to see that level go down to a bit, but I think the competitiveness of this crop of teams, I think this will be the most competitive season we have seen in Series E history. Because I think these teams are actually so close.
Right, and we talked about a lot of the practice you get here that elevates your level of play, even if it may not be the absolute, dominant pro league squads that have existed among our partnered entities. Going through 16 weeks of Series E will be enough, to potentially net you an incredible return when we start talking about real major tournaments, looking at year 3 ALGS, because correct me if I'm wrong, we'll be finishing up Season 5 right about when ALGS comes in. No, either way.
I think I think those timelines actually line up fairly closely, so I think you are possibly correct. As we jump on board here with Excedrin, and their rough night may continue here. Cruisin' and Kimchi are down. Enemy, the only one left, does not have any armor to his name.
Oh, jeez.
No life there as well as RCO take them out. Excedrin eliminated in 19th
Multiple
place
squads
here as we jump over to Vizio. They've gotten the knock there onto Snoopy, and they're looking for more here. That door going to be blocked for the time being. Can they get... missing with the first PK shot, but Sung does not miss. And Kimbo taken out here, and this final player near the lift will be knocked down. Glory to the Republic. Their early game success has stopped here on Storm Point as they're taken out as we jump over to Team Intel.
Mind you, that is 2 squads in the Lightning Rod area. That was not just Vizio and Glory to the Republic. There's still 1 left in play. But for now, obviously, we've got this fight going on here. Razor in a great defensible position. Obviously, they have the Watson to work with, and Habitat just utilized for all that information. Gives them plenty of time to really read this situation out. So I don't expect any kind of heavy-handed moves anytime soon here.
Razor had a really good showing in Game 5, and they're just trying to slowly build on the foundations that this team set in qualifiers and looking to ramp up as this season continues. This could be, tonight could be a bit of a watershed moment here for this Razor roster as they try to really get going in this season. As we take a peek at the circle, pretty central here on the map. Curious to see which direction that next circle is going to head. Hopefully we can get a look at that pretty soon as Crossover's squad, Spectre Esports, I believe, goes down there in Team Esports Arena. Oh, it's Blood Vikings, excuse me, knocked out.
This is a pretty, obviously we see that fight transpire, but a large portion of those squads are kind of competing within our top 6 are all contesting the exact same area out here, and Nerf slowly kind of making their way towards it. Obviously, we had, of course, Razor and intel, but you had Start a Fight just landing, coming through there with their redeploy on the edge. Meanwhile, Nerf, another squad that is well within a competitive range here, on their way towards potentially chasing this one down. They find the break on the Valkyrie, but just hold stead on Mills.
Yeah, that Spitfire aim from Messiah, pretty clean. Messiah definitely a player that can be that big fragger for your squad, and I think has been a nice addition to this Nerf team this season alongside Force and Turns. We'll have to see just what their ceiling is this time around, because they're certainly a squad last season that was kind of mired in the bottom of the standings for a very long time. Had a solid surge in the second half of the season that saw them battling back and forth with Excedrin for top 3 placing. That was certainly a very fun storyline to follow in the back half of season number 4. Now we'll have to see this time around if Nerf can try and establish themselves as a top contender and not be the ones maybe fighting for the scraps.
It's going to be tough. I mean, I know we literally have been blabbering on and on and on about our partnered squads here and their impacts going into Season 5, but, I mean, other than ALGS, it's very rare that you get a consistent level of competition among similar teams time and time again, right? And so, you know, it's semi-off / postseason as we are about to wrap up championship within 2 weeks here. I mean, this is esports for the time being, baby.
Yes, it is. And I know you're excited about champs. You're going to be in Raleigh, correct?
Yes, I will. For anyone who is interested in maybe stopping by and saying hello, I, as well as Dia, will be together there at Raleigh. And checking it out, enjoying the games all 4 days, and hopefully I can sneak on B stream. That's the goal. I'm gonna find Nicewig. I'm gonna roll up and I'm gonna say, please, Joseph and Joe, can I sit down on B stream for like just 1 match? You can trust me.
That or Nicewig's gonna end up tied
oh my
up
God,
and locked in a closet somewhere, and you're just to show up like, I don't know where he went. It's okay, I'll take care of it. I'll hold it down until
Nicewig would beat me up.
Hey, I've been I follow Nicewig on Twitter. I don't really watch his streams a whole lot, but he seems like a great dude and his content is awesome. But he tweeted a picture the other day about he's proud of his like gains and his workouts and stuff. That dude is jacked.
Yeah,
my man has been
Twiggy out
grinding in the gym.
We tune back in towards the barometer here.
Tap Strafers.
Looks like Tap Strafers finding some success. Much garnered here. Looks like one member, a squad. Final elimination as we do see Soques finished off. Tap Strafers, though, still not really in, I would say, the ultimate test as of yet. Just kind of cleaning up a lot of the squads have run around the same level as them.
Meanwhile, Lazarus, one of our teams, in contention at the top of the standings here, and that defensive bombardment not going to net them a ton, but G7 Tank with a nice peek towards, looked like a caustic to me, under the bridge. Whoa, and now they want to get inside of the building, and that is unfortunate. The bubble's going to come down, but I mean, if you're Lazarus,
this is risky. Come on.
I feel like you should know you have the numbers advantage here, right? That caustic player, you pushed back under.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay, they came back. Okay, well, I mean, good that they came back to support the squad, because now the numbers are even. They'll get some information thanks to the Seer scan there, and seems whatever Lazarus saw, they decided to back away. They don't want to take the fight.
I mean, props to them for setting themselves up. I mean, they're in a position to kind of walk away tonight and obviously just need to survive. Nerf, on the other hand, they need a little bit more of an extreme game to net them KP to put themselves in that top 2, and RCO will suffice for now. Tyson, on the other hand, might be on their way out.
Yeah, Tyson, a team who started so strong and have seemingly struggled more and more as the night has continued. Z Davis already taken out. Fury low is going to hit the battery. Joey trying to get off the med kit, and it's Razor here wreaking havoc on this Tyson roster. They're going to be able to loot up Z Davis's death box, and they're just once again set up nicely inside of possibly the same building they were in when we were checking in with Intel earlier as we jump over here to Tap Strafers, and that's going to be Irin jumping down into the bubble here, not landing those PK shots, but it's just enough as certified BMers will fall.
I feel like they continue to aggress upon teams that are just better and better upon our standings. Certified BMers definitely being well within the range of the top here today, sitting in 8th place. Their journey has come to an end here, of course, at the hands of Tap Strafers. Mind you, the reason this is so impressive to me is they were sitting at 19th with 5 points here, so definitely a fantastic return for Joey and crew, but still a whole wash of very competitive teams ahead that they will have to compete up against. Razor here, back towards them, hanging in the building, just barely missing the foul, but start a fight.
Oh, Boxo T goes down, and now it's up to Nades and Blakeu to make it up and start a fight. Are wreaking havoc. Nades is down, and Boxo T has been finished, and SAF, they're looking to push. They're looking to clean it up. They want to take Razor out early in this game. And they shouldn't have too much trouble doing so. They're going to take out the Watson traps there. Pickett knocked, but it doesn't matter. Razor knocked out in 13th place. And SAF, a team that has been a mainstay at the top of the standings here tonight, are looking to finish off on a high note as we jump over to Team Intel.
Intel, though, still, of course, in that first place position. Haven't had the most exciting game thus far, but, I mean, it's a separation of 14 points right off the bat, so you don't only have to pick up the win. You've got to last longer than Intel, have an absurd ratio of kills on top of that, and as these lobbies continue to tighten up with squads falling, mathematically, I'm getting a little bit confused regarding if it's even possible.
It's going to be tough. The longer that Intel survives in this lobby, the more difficult it's going to be for these teams. And the one thing is, we really haven't seen any of those teams pushing very aggressively in this game, right? It feels like all of them have gotten like one fight that they've won, but that's it. And it's just like, okay, you need to pick up the pace because you need to close the gap here. You can't just wait till the late game and hope that you could be the one team that wipes out the last 3 squads, because it's not going to work out that way. You're going to be in big trouble here as James Fearless has taken out Joey Blackout. Z Davis was down earlier, so it should just be Fury left alive there as, Z Davis got rezzed and has been picked up by Tap Strafers.
Yeah, on the other end here of Jurassic Park, Tap Strafers have come through. That most notably, it's probably Blake who just dropped down the defensive bombard. Gotta be careful though. As sweet as your song may be, it doesn't garner anything like the safety here for Tap Strafers. As a result, I think they got to pull back. I mean, they actually had to breach the door here. What was the start of a good fight for them? I mean, they have to give up. They're technically, there's too much pressure from both angles.
Speaking of Jurassic Park, I was in Discord with some friends last night. They were talking about going to like a little fossil exhibit with their kids this weekend, which is super cool. And one of them was like, man, I'd really love if there was a Jurassic Park. Wouldn't that be so cool? And I was just like, have you seen the movies? He was like, yeah. I was like, you missed the one lesson of all of the films. Literally, the one thing we learned is, like, don't make a Jurassic Park. It always goes wrong.
Wow. You can
it's
see
all gone wrong for Tyson.
Going wrong, Tyson. All right.
I'm having too much fun with the asides here during the downtime.
It's fine. It's fine. Either way, it's a big win for Intel, and they're going to keep running this one forward. It's Blake, the first to fall. See if they can land some shots from afar, but they are being pushed back from the west. Still, though, with their success against Tyson, this does allow them to find their position in the zone. They got a squad from behind. There's still someone at Jurassic.
They need to get into the tunnel here, but James Fearless is going to get taken down, and it's phony. That's huge. Important kills here for Team Esports Arena. I don't know that ESA is really in realistic range to threaten for first place, but they can still jump into the conversation and definitely into that top 3 here as Phony is doing work with the Spitfire. The rest of Intel running for their lives. They have to leave James Fearless behind as he is gone.
Tough. It's been a really great source of performance here, but now, I mean, it's going to be down to just the two here. Impulse, of course, and Mooney to just survive, right? I mean, it's just about life because we talked about it earlier. You raise the bar here as your placements increase, and that's what counts in terms of overall leaderboard. And obviously, Esports Arena weren't able to clean this one up. Now, granted, this is a difficult zone to play. Doesn't pull towards a direct POI and continues to carry itself down a little bit more towards, of course, over here by Lazarus, where you get a bit of a mix of the buildings as well as that hillside. Very difficult in terms of play.
Yeah, Intel, really, if you could just get into the top 5 here in placement, you're probably taking home the victory. So we'll have to see what the approach is from Mooney and Impulse here. Lazarus still alive. Vizzy, not a Kraber this time, but has that 2-4 with the flat line and just trying to tap away at these players at range. Meanwhile, GAD and Greendos here getting some work done. They're able to take out Gordo and looking for more, trying to chase down this squad.
Woo! Greendos does find that complete elimination onto Gordo. Gotta be a little bit careful. Remember, you've got a lot of squads just kind of coming up around the edge here, especially coming from the east, where if you take too long, maybe not play around your backside, you might get capitalized on. That's why I obviously see Greendos pull back there and just begin to run that one up. Now, something that I find very surprising, notice how Lazarus has control over both of these buildings. And obviously, it's going to pull away for Zone 5, and that's not why you see everyone contest there. But I'm just surprised that not many squads decide to put themselves in that position, just even for a particular rotation for later.
Vizio, a squad that has had a rough showing so far tonight, looking to hopefully finish on a high note here. A couple of red Evos going to feel real nice and set up inside of this building. They're just outside the northeastern edge of this next circle. We'll have to see what they can do. 10 squads alive here. The circle for closing momentarily. Make it 9. Could make for a very chaotic late circle here. Spectre Esports has been taken out in Esports Arena on the hunt here. They're looking to have a big performance to close out game number 6. That's going to be an ultimate from a Bangalore. Coming down that maybe from GAD. As there goes
Gordo dropping that one there, but it's a bit of a shame. Only kill here to code force. It looks like Greendos hiding in the midst of all the rolling thunder there. Was able to find just a little bit of response. It's going to force Esports Arena to just kind of bide their time, slow down here. But this was exactly that eastern end that I talked about in terms of a rotation that was so crucial here. Now, obviously, they get that reset onto Zaniel, and they're going to have some time to potentially approach. But we, of course, know that Lazarus is just waiting in that building across.
Vizio, meanwhile, out on this balcony, taking some damage, though, from the Thermites. Ooh. Trying to get some Arc Stars into the windows here as they're fighting up against XSET. I was just about to ask if we could check in on what's up with XSET. Guess what? We found them, and they're duking it out with Vizio here. High ground Kraber for Hackulo.
Not quite.
Not quite is correct. They're at range, just poking two other teams fighting here. It's start a fight, and Vizio and Hack with this Kraber looking to get some work done here for XSET. They were the team best positioned to threaten Intel. We'll have to see what they can do here in the final game of the day. Hack, does he have the aim? Not on that one as GAD goes down.
Ooh, that's a big dome. That's going to prevent some damage, but in terms of a rotation, leaves a lot of questions in store here for where they will go. It's a nice crack bound to give even not quite the knockdown we needed. Ooh. A good slow there, but still not quite. It's just towards the body here for Hackulo. Still Avis, and then turns around. Matt Pickett on the other side there. I'm losing it. That was a fantastic shot.
Yep, SAF has been taken out. One of the contenders for the top of the table. XSET set up so well, but Intel, I believe, still alive, so very important to keep an eye on that kill feed, ladies and gentlemen. But Esports Arena has arrived in the fight. Lazarus here as well as all of our top teams meeting together here in the late game. GS Bird in trouble. G7 Tank, the only remaining member there of Lazarus, as XSET is taken out in Esports Arena here, healthy and on the hunt for some more KP. Scissors now picking up that R301, looking to beam, has got the gold mag here as well as that wonderful new heirloom for the Valkyrie. And what can ESA do? Interestingly enough, guess who else is still alive in the late game? It's who Zenile came here to hunt down. It's Force and Nerf. What can they do here?
It's tough. Vizio's also still alive. They got Borton as a rat still there on that low ground, but it's obviously Nerf in this god spot right now. Look at the position that they hold. The angles provided here onto Esports Arena. Been able to take advantage of that damage and constantly lay this one out. Force them on the rotation. Keep carting them over to the side here, and I'd be happy to see Nerf pull away with a victory here in the very, very end. They performed all night long. Meanwhile, Borton only a click away from death, and that'll be it.
Huge pickup there for Force, using this 30-30 very effectively. Now wants to push up with the PK. One shot for 98 and has to back away momentarily. Now it's Turns' turn to get up in here. And good night, Team Esports Arena. But guess who's still alive? It's Intel, and they've picked their time perfectly. Can they get in here and take out Intel? It's the 2v3. What can they do? Impulse in, but gets taken out. It's Force with the knock, and it should be Nerf with the win, but Intel has probably done all that they needed to do to grab the win on the night, as Nerf are your champions in game number 6.
What's more important here with Nerf picking up that final win going into game 6 is it's very likely that with those points on their belt, they potentially take themselves from what was going to be, I believe, a finish in like 7th to maybe 3rd, and if they're lucky, 2nd place. It's going to be tough. I mean, they had a lot of ground to cover that game.